Good day. I am Engineer Elton Ian, your instructor in EST 201, Programming Controls or Computer Programming Controls or Programming Controls. Now we're going to discuss Module 2. Under Module 2, we have here um, so we have here in these topics, we have three topics: the C programming, Arduino IDE, and Arduino Uno. So this is the logo for the C programming, and for the Arduino um, shortcut icons is this one, and muna yung IDE. This is the IDE for Arduino. Wala na siya labot no ang atong Arduino board. And the Arduino Uno board no nga atong gamiton for our as an output no for the processor, and kani siya mga pin string nga makita no serve as our output no from 0 to 13 na pins no, and also analog can be also as an output, and usually ginagamit ni siya ang atuang analog for the input no sa atuang mga pang sensors, and also ang kaning atuang mga digital pins no from 0 to 13 pwede po siya gamiton as our input no. So input depending on the commands or the syntax nga itong gamiton sa atuang Arduino IDE no using C programming. So sa C programming no, we need to start C programming. Before that no, we have objectives no in our AST 201 module 2. First objective is we're going to familiarize the programming structure in Arduino IDE using C language. So anyway, in your programming 1 and 2 under ka Arnold Guscio or ka Sir Makiputin, i-discuss siya dito sa mga types sa programming. Sa ato rin no, sa EST 201 programming controls, ang atong ginagamit na language is Z language. Then understand the basic programming command and syntax used in Arduino IDE, and identify the basic pin function of Arduino Uno board. So ato na siya i-discuss niya later. Okay, what is the basic C programming no? What are the usual no nga atong ginagamit sa to example no? But there are more syntax no using this ato ang reference site, the www.arduino.cc. Ato na sa i-discuss po later. So sa basic C programming no, we have const, small letter na tanda no, const, so constant. Then we have number sign define or hashtag define, and we have the int or the integer, digital read, then digital write, the pin mode, F, the else, and the delay. So these are the basic no dalagmitan ginagamit nato sa tuwang programming sa tuwang controls no sa tuwang Arduino from the input to the output. So what is const no? What is const? So actually no, it is a variable scope and qualifiers. Anyway, na natin sample nga programs no nga atong gamiton natin siya no. So const, or it is a constant no. The const keyword stands for constant no. So that is constant. Gigampan lang ni siya og that is why it is called syntax no. Because kung ato nang i-write ang mga exact word niya no, mosay mo taas na kaya to ang codes nga create. So that's why programmers have a code no or the syntax. So ang constant nga word gigamaan niya as const no sa to ang programming. So when you type const, so pasabutan na nga constant siya ang yang equivalent. So it is a variable qualifier no, that modifies the behavior of the variable. So example, yun kang const x or pwede ba const a o pwede mo i-ngalan const ayan. So pasabutan na ang ayan imo na siya i-qualify to a constant. So imo siya i-declare no. ng imong variable. So making a variable read only. When you read only, no, dili siya pwede ma-change, no, during runtime. So this means that the variable can be used just as any other variable of its type, but its value cannot be changed. So muna siya ang i-explain niya. And you will get a compiler error if you try to assign a value to a const variable. So const defined with a const keyword obey the rules of variable scoping, okay, that govern other variables. So this and the pitfalls of using hashtag define or number sign define makes the const or keyword a superior method for defining constant and is preferred over using define. So sa other uban nga programming, no, programmers sa Arduino, no, sometimes they use define, but in this topic, no, much better daw to use const keyword because it is superior method, no, for defining a constant. Okay, so example for this code, no, sa const is this one, no, example code. Const float, by the way, no, float is masama tayo yung float, no, ato na i-discuss niya sa other na po siya nga, I think sa module 3 na siya na-discuss, no, of module 4, no. So const float pi, so the word pi, no, the word pi is a variable, no, nga atong gi-declare as a constant. So const float, now you see float because a value, no, nga atong ma-create sa tuang x is depending on the required, no, nga amount ng kinahanglan. But we know that pi, no, we declare that pi is equal to 3.14. So sa programming, no, kinahanglan siya nga naa siya semicolon, no, after sa imong declaration, sa imong command. Then float x, okay, so ato yung float x, so therefore any value, no, ang x pwede siya ang imong pi, no, nga i-declare mo as 3.14 multiplied to any number, then therefore it is floating because whatever the number, no, lahi po ang equivalent sa imong x. So it is a fine, no, so muna siya ang iyang definition. By the way, wala nilabot na siya sa tuang sa tuang command. This is only the explanation, no. Pag nana kay makita nga double slash, so wala siya ilabot, no, di na siya basahon sa tuang Arduino nga IDE nga compiler. So x equal to pi, we know that pi is equal to 3.14, no, sa tuang gi-assign sa const as pi is equal to 3.14. So 3.14, no, pi is equal to 3.14 times 2, so whatever the result, that is the value of our x, okay. But we cannot say that pi is equal to 7, no, because pi is already assigned, no, as 3.14 as sa constant. So you cannot say after ani siya, no, pagka man mo create aning constant float pi is equal to 3.14, so therefore pi cannot be equal to 7, no? Because okay, you cannot modify. So muna siya ang pasabot-anin nga you cannot go directly nga i-times mo 2 mo automatic siya og 7, no. Dapat wala rin siya labot sa programming, no, because this one itself will justify that a pi that is 3.14 times 2, that is almost equal to 7. Okay, so pi is not equal to 7 because we declare pi is equal to 3.14. We have here the notes and warnings. Anyway, no, ato na siya discuss. We have after sa explanation ng aning atuang topic, there could be a programming, no, examples nga atong i-kuan, no, ihatag based ato ang i-discuss. Okay, notes and warnings. Number sign define or cons. You can use either cons or number define. number sign defined for creating numeric or string constants. So, numeric, no? So, kanang ang mga constant nga itong ibutang, for example, pi, no? Pwede siya gamitin na to, let's just say pi is equal to a number, no? That is, this is a variable nga atong imon siya nga constant value. So, we can also use number sign defined, but according to the previous slides nga, it is better to use const rather than number sign defined. Okay? For arrays, you will need to use const. No? In general, const is preferred over sa number sign defined for defining constant. Okay? So, ato lang i-discuss what is number sign defined. So, number sign defined is a useful C++ component that allows the programmer to give a name to a constant value before the program is compiled. Defined constant in Arduino don't take up any program memory space on the chip. So, dili lang kayo siya mogamit o allocation no, sa atuang memory. The compiler will replace references to this constant with the defined value at compile time. So, this can have some unwanted side effects though. No? If, for example, a constant name that had been defined no, is included in some other constant or variable name. In that case, the next would be replaced by the number sign defined number or text. Anyway, no, makasabot lang tayo if tayo sample ng programming. So in general, the const keyword is preferred for defining constant and should be used instead of number sign defined. So much better to use the const syntax or command. Okay, so example, we have your examples here. So this one, no? Number sign defined lead pin 3. Okay, the compiler will replace any mention of lead pin with a value 3, no? At a compile time. So therefore, atong i-define no, ang lead pin, ang variable nga lead pin, ilang no? By the way, lead pin dili siya constant no. Makapagusto lang to sa ato ang variable nga ibutang. Nakasabutan niya tani sa ato ang sample nga program. Okay, ako lang nag-explain kung sa ilang kuan. Gikan isa sa mga sa website no, ako pa ipakita ang website. The compiler will replace any mention of lead pin with a value of 3 no at ang compile time. So there is no semicolon after the defined statement no? So wala tayong semicolon nga i-create. If you include 1, the compiler will throw encrypted errors further down the page. So kani siya kung imubutangan siya og semicolon no. So kuan siya mag-error. So kinanglan wala yun day. And also sa define, no, we cannot put equal sign no sa ato ang value sa lead pin because define lead pin wala siya dili siya dapat butang og equal no. Kinahanglan unsay value automatic imo siya i next no, i type next without equal sign. Then we have here the int no. So const number sign defined. Then the next is syntax that we're going to use is the int. So the types of data no nga atong i-declare no sa ato ang variable. So example const, we set const variable but atong nuwagan siya no const int. So ana nga ang iyong variable imo siyang i-assign as integer. So this is already int no? The word int is integers. Okay, integers are your primary data type for number storage. So ato siya set as number. Sorry, nailamok. Okay, so this yields a range of from negative to positive no? And so on and so on. Anyway, that is in the number storage. Okay, then the syntax int var is equal to val. So int is syntax, then variable, the name of your variable and the value no. Example imong LED, no, or ang imong suga, no, light. Int light, so variable is light, then is equal to what is the value, no, sa imong light. For example, 0, no, pwede 1 or any number. Okay, so the value you assign to that variable. So value is number. Okay. Sample is int count up. No? As you have noticed, count up, that is the variable. No? Int the variable name, that is count up, that is equal to 0. So which means creates a variable integer called count up. No? That is initial at 0. So serial that begin 9600. Use the serial 4 to print the number. Okay. So example, no, kaniya itong i-follow, no, sa ito ang programming. Okay, so this one, no, ato na i-try. So we're going to use Arduino, no, ato siyang i-advance kadali ang ato ang topic. So Arduino IDE, ato na siyang i-copy lang, no, i-paste lang dito. Then makita na ito unsay outcome, no. So from PowerPoint, no, we are going to copy this one. Copy. Okay. Copy. Then let's go to Arduino. Ato lang siya i-highlight all. Then ato lang i-control V, no, or ato lang i-paste ng ato ang code. Okay. So this is our code. Kaganiya, no, sa ato ang so if your int count up is equal to 0, okay, then we have here with stop to begin, then with loop, no? We see loop, continuous siya, no? Delay, wala na apil ang delay. I think na siya ang delay, no? Okay, ito na siya enter, then delay, enter. Okay. So delay 1 second. So every 1 second from 0, no? So int count up. So count up is our variable name starting from 0, no? 0 is our initial value. So the purpose of serial that begin, so para makita na to, no, ang atong serial monitor. Okay, so ito na billable. Kailangan shell board. Ilang. Patay try, no? Connect ang board. Then serial, no? Count up plus. It means nga adds 1 to the count up and for every loop. So as you have noticed nga natin delay nga once 1000, no? 1000 that is equal to milliseconds. So 1000 milliseconds divided by 1000, that is equal to 1 second. Okay. Serial that print line count up. So i-print na niya anong kaning plus, no, for every 1 second. So ang board wala na dito ko, ano, atong i-tao sa ang board. Okay. So we have here the board. So ato sa i-connect ni ang board. Okay. Board. Connecting the board. Okay, so we have here the board, no, USB. Okay, then ito siya i-connect sa to ang USB drive, sa to ang USB port, no, sa to ang computer. Okay. So that's one. Okay, that's it. Then so atong i-try, no, ang tools COM4. Okay, connected na COM4 Arduino Uno. Okay, then we have to run this one. Okay, so wala pa na siya, no, atasan na siyang upload para makita ato diri ang result, no? Upload. Okay, upload. Ma-full na siya ang green. So, makita natin na siya karon no? Ang kuan. Okay. Okay, uploaded. Okay. Check walang result. Error. Exit status 1. Error compiling for board Arduino Uno. Okay, so with loop 0 example 1,000 count up plus add delete. Okay, why na-delete siya mo list file. Okay, so exit status 1 for board. Wala. Okay. So, para sa tanong. Anyway, no, mo gawas na siya ang value niya. Okay, so dahil sa tanong, tayo then ato na i-correct na letter. Okay, so next is okay. Ato na i-correct, no? Then notes and warning: when signed variables no, are made to exceed their maximum or minimum capacity, the overflow. So if the overflow ay error no, or somewhat na wala siya result is unpredictable, so this should be avoided. A typical symptom of an overflow is the variable rolling over no, from its maximum capacity to its minimum or vice versa. So ito siya ang explanation ganiha no na nag-overflow ang ato ang code, that is why dili siya makita no ang result. So we say unpredictable, dili siya ma-identify no sa ato ang compiler. So but this is not always the case no if you want this behavior. So we're going to use unsigned end. But anyway, nga sa nato i-discuss no. Importante lang we know what is end or integer. Okay, so next is digital red. Okay, digital red. So muna siya muna siya ginagamit sa tuwang input no sa tuwang digital. By the way, digital input and output no, yung purpose sa tuwang digital read. So when we see read, we're going to accept no data from the input no sa tuwang Arduino. Then description reads the value from a specified digital pin, either high or low no. So we will say high na signal siya nga madawat. Kung wala siya signal madawat, then unsay may tabo sa imong program. Kung naay ma-receive nga signal, what will unsay iyang buhaton? Kung mawala, unsa po iyang buhaton. Okay? Sa digital red pin, may iyang ko ano? Pin, the Arduino pin number you want to read. Okay? So digital read, dayon putahan mo di sa nga pin number. Sample from 0 to 13, pwede siya 0, pwede 1, pwede 2, 3, and so up to 13. Okay, so example code, int lead pin 13, pin sa int, no? So atong i-assign no, ang ato ang variable, no, na lead pin to pin 13. Okay, then int, okay, pin in pin. Ito sa variable name again, pwede na-i-reset mo no, and out 13 no, is equal to 13. So pin 13 and int in, wala nang pin, is equal to 7, since ang imong push button connected to the digital pin 7. So end value is equal to 0. Ato na siya no, gamag example no, sa karon nga activity. So okay, then okay, sorry, balik sa rin no. Okay, with pin mode, atong i-discuss what is pin mode niya. No? Pin mode, which means nga atong i-set ang atong pin, no? 13. Since nga dream nato ipag-asa ang atong out, no, sa 13, then we are going to assign lead pin, no? Lead pin as our output, no? Output mode, no, sa atong Arduino. Then ang atong in pin, no, as an input mode di sa atong kaning pin 7, no, makita. So therefore, ang imong input nasa pin 7 na connect, and ang imong pong output is nasa pin 13. No? Example, push button, connect nimo sa 7, no, sa Arduino. Anyway, ato na i-discuss ang Arduino po nga board. Then with low, value is equal to digital read in pin. Then digital write lead pin is the value. No? Kung imong value is naka-high, no? So musiga ang imong lead pin. Kung imong i-press ang button, kung imong i-release ang button, so your value is 0, then the output of your lead pin is also 0 or mapalong siya, no? Okay, notes and warning. So magamit lang taog high, no? So if the pin isn't connected to anything, digital read can return either high or low, and this can change randomly. So pwede siya bali-balihon na, no? Pwede high, pwede siya low. Pwede po low, pwede high. Okay? The analog input pins can be used as digital pins. So kanang mga referred to as A0 to A1 and so on and so forth. As long as na A stand for analog. Okay, the exception is the Arduino Nano, no? Pro Mini and Mini A6. So na siya may exception. But we're using Arduino Uno sa itong example. Okay, digital write. This is the explanation. Write a high or low value to a digital pin. If the pin has been configured as an output with a pin mode, its voltage will be set to the corresponding value. Okay? So digital write for 0 or 5 volts, the value, no, that is high, no, high. 5 volts or 3.3 volts on 3.3 volts boards, that is for high. No? Pag makareceive siya og 0 volts, that is low. So, muna siya nga, kinahanglan natin idea about electronics sa atuang programming controls. Okay, if the input pin or if the pin is configured as an input, so that is digital write, no, will enable high or disable low the internal pull up on the input pin. So, kaning internal pull up, muna siya ang resistor, no, nga na built-in sa atuang Arduino. So it is recommended to set the pin mode to input pull up to enable the internal pull up resistor. So ato na input pull up, tapos tayo input pull down. Okay? So see the digital pins tutorials, and then if you want, so these are samples, no? Natin samples diri. So example code, we are the okay, word setup, pin mode 13 as our output, with loop digital write 13 high, then after 1 seconds delay, no, delay 1000, that is 1 seconds mo low siya, mapalong, then after 1 seconds mubalik na po siya to high, no, nga naman because under ta sa loop, no, void loop. So na-discuss na po natin ganyan what is looping, no, sa atong module 1, no, na-discuss na to katong tawag na to og looping nga program control. Okay, notes and warning, the analog input pins can be used as digital pins referred to as A0, A1 and so on and so forth. So the exception is again Arduino Nano. And okay, so F na po, no, we have another control structure. So F is a condition, no, kung sa Bisaya pa na siya kung, or what if, or kung diri ka moagi unsay mahitabo nimo, kung madito ka moagi unsay mahitabo. Okay, so that is if, that is the control structure. So the description, the F statement checks for a condition and executes the following statements or set of statements if the condition is true. Okay, so i-compare niya ni ang value is the same ba. Okay, so if condition, so nakay condition ni butang diri. Example, if pin 2 na siya signal madawat, this is equal to high, then unsa may matabo, no? So nakay statement sa imong ibutang kung sa iyang buhaton. So condition is a Boolean expression, can be true or false. So pwede siya kung low siya, which means nga wala siya input nga na-receive, then what will happen po noon sa metabo sa imong program. Okay, so di lang nato kayo na i-discuss, no, because atanang ni siya lang sa i-set aside ang example code. Okay, notes and warnings, the statements being evaluated inside. Okay, so na siya mga comparison, no. So kung kani nga mga operators imong gamiton, na siya mga explanation, no, kung double equal, so pasabutan na nga kaning value sa imong x equal po sa imong y. So kung ma-5 ni siya, dapat 5 po ang imong y. Kung ma-10 imong y, ang imong x also equal to 10. So muna siya pasabutan na. This one is not equal to, so asterisk equal, so muna siya, no, or punctuation muna siya, punctuation, sorry. So x greater than y, less than y, so therefore x is less than y, and x is greater than y, and x is less than or equal to y, no? So muna siya mga operators sa itong gamiton during sa atuang comparison, no, sa atuang conditional statement using F. Okay, so this is because C++ evaluates the statement if x is equal to 10 as follows, then 10 is assigned to x. So muna siya, no, nga ang 10 atong i-assign sa x. Remember that the single equal sign is the assignment operator, no, dili siya equal nga mahimo gyud nga 10 yun. So iyon ang i-assign nga equal to 10. So pwede siya tapos yung asset point or limit number, no, yung so x now contains 10, so na siya value nga 10, no. Pero pwede siya mahimong 11, no, kung imo siyang plus plus yung ikuan, no, yung nga ganing plus sign, no, plus plus ang imo ang x. Pero at initial point, no, 10 ang iyang value. So then the F condition evaluates 10, which always evaluates to true, since any non-zero number evaluates to true. So consequently, if x is equal to 10, will always evaluate to true, no, nga 10 siya, which is not the desired result when using an F. So matang ipasabot ganiya, no, nga dili gid siya ang imong x equal to 10 din siya, no. Pwede siya madungagan siya og 1, so mayroon na siya og 11, but ang iyang initial value is equal to 10, no, yung assigned value. So ang assign ug ang iyang equal yun niya nga value, no, is different, no. Mayroon ka nga equal to 10, so di na siya pwede madungagan og any value, no. Kaya equal to 10 gud siya. Pero kani siyang 1 equal lang, so ang sabot ani nga pwede siya madungagan, no. But ang initial value niya is 10. Okay? It's also not a desired action. Okay, sample code with loop lib10 13 with setup pin mode. Okay, maano yung pin mode? Wala pa, no? Okay, I think kumana to ang pin mode, no? Pin mode. Pin mode. Okay, delay, no? Delay. Ang pin mode, wala pa. Okay. Wala pa ang pin. Anaan? Pero no, pin mode is we're going to set the pin, no? The mode of our pin as pwede siya output or pwede siya input, no? Depende sa imong mode, no, sa imong pin. So that is pin mode. Okay, so unsa ang nato niya pag search, no? So output lang ta sa our